Hey friends, and welcome back to another week with another solo episode on the Luxury of Self-Care podcast. It never gets old to say it like that, the luxury of self-care. And I want you to feel that. That is the whole point of this show, to get you to really feel luxurious in your life. Now, I'm not saying we're going to have a luxurious life every day, every moment. It's not going to happen. That is not a reality. But one of the biggest things that I've noticed this week specifically, something that I've been challenged with, and our country as a nation, is chaos, is money. There's all these new things, like if you're a New Yorker, there's the stimulus checks that are coming in now if you were on unemployment, or if you're still on unemployment. Maybe you never got on unemployment, so they're doing that. So we're just shuffling out more money, which is crazy to take that in. And if you're not getting it, you're just getting more and more frustrated because of that. I do feel that our relationship with money has never been a good thing. I do feel like our relationship with money has always been this overbearing weight, fear. It just has this negative taste, whether you have it or you don't have it. Because if you have it, you always want to do this, but everything costs something. And when you don't have it, everything costs something and you don't have it. So revisiting what that is. And another thing I extended in the practice, which is also found in today's newsletter. If you're not on that newsletter, it is a super simple click and subscribe. So go ahead and jump on that. You get a free yoga class every week. I give you all updates on the luxury of self-care. I let you know on any details of anything that I have going on that you could possibly pop in on and get some discounts with. It's just like a great way to stay connected, and it's like a one-stop shop for all things luxury of self-care related. So on that, within the yoga practice that is in there today, and what I've been working on with my clients this week, is breathing in and inhaling love and exhaling hate. Because I do feel like there's so much going on right now, and I don't really use my social media platform that aggressively towards politics. I do want it to be a space of joy and love and entertainment and meditation and self-care and food and clothes and shops. I want you to feel good when coming to my page, not this weight of anger and hate, because it's already out there. We're all watching the news, but the number one thing that I do want to say is we should be having conversations about it. So all I'm going to say with everything that is going on is I would love for you to just take a moment. And I spoke to my mother about this last night in the sense of like being a Christian. And if you're not into faith, that is totally fine, but just hear me out. I say we're told to love thy neighbor as thyself. So I use the word love because love is a super strong word. And I use the word hate because hate is an aggressively strong word as well. So love, as you had listened on accepting the love we think we deserve, as you had listened on the episode with my new fiance, Douglas, going to the chapel. Anytime I talk about love, like it was a big thing. It's a massive thing. We don't toss around that word. I've never been one to toss around that word. If you're someone that really does fall hard and you fall fast, like I am not judging you on that. I'm just saying that like love is this massively strong word. I use it very wisely and specifically. So I say cling on to the love and turn hatred to love, because it's not in my DNA. It's just not in my makeup to hate. Even my worst enemy, I don't wish anything negative upon them. So if you have been having like super strong feelings of hate, I want you to acknowledge them. They are real. They are the fiery, angry red animated character inside out in your head. Like, it is fine to have anger, but don't hold on to that anger, because that is going to drive your day. It's going to drive your decisions. It's going to drive your relationships. It's going to drive your work environment. And it's just not a good thing to hang on to. So let's release that anger first of all, and just breathe in the love. It can be small doses. I had also posted recently, like, if you want to see change, you must choose change. So if you're angry and you're stressed out every day, then you need to choose to take a moment to find love, or choose to take a moment to de-stress on your yoga mat, or however you choose to de-stress. Maybe it's going to a sauna. Maybe it's just having that one glass of wine. Maybe it's turning your phone on silent and all your notifications off and just sitting in silence. One of my favorite things that my girlfriend Chelsea did, And I'm gonna call her out here, and I love you, girl. She is good friends with Jess Q. That was the episode that was on earlier this week. She's the one who connected us. So if you haven't heard that episode, please tune into that. You're gonna be so touched and inspired by her story and how she opens up. It's so vulnerable. It's really, really beautiful. And we had such a lovely conversation. But so Chelsea came to visit me when I had first moved here to Lancaster, and it was so funny because she came in and she's sitting on the couch, and I don't know if any of you have ever seen this, but if you're fans of like Parks and Rec, then you know Ron Swanson, which he's just hilarious on that. I feel like that's who he is. Nick Offerman is in person sometimes even, but you can go online and just say like Yule log Nick Offerman. And Douglas and I found this I think it was last winter, and we just turn it on in the background, like on YouTube. When you watch these videos, like sometimes, or in my yoga classes, I have, serenity in the background, or like a fire log. Well, there is one with Nick Offerman called like Yule log, and it's like 10 hours of him just sitting there in a leather couch being very Nick Offerman like and sipping on whiskey, and the fire's in the background. So when Chelsea came, I had to go to bed early. I was just in a different headspace than she was. She's been working late hours, and I've been going to bed at like 10 or 11. So I passed out and went to bed, and she sat there in silence with her lovely glass of wine that she probably refilled, and very much so should have, and looked at Nick Offerman and just watched him in silence. And like that was her way of de-stressing. She had come to relax, to like move on, to collect her thoughts, and she had that moment to do that. So finding your stillness, whatever that is, I'm just pointing out there that we all have our different ways of doing that. So rewinding back now, letting go of that, the intention was to, turn hate into love. But that also comes with money. So there is a famous song in the musical Cabaret. If you've never seen it, you can watch, there's movies of it too, but it is a really fantastic musical. If you've seen Schitt's Creek, they even did a little like couple songs from there. But there is this big song called Money Makes the World Go Around. And like everybody loves the sound. And the way that all of the actors are, the dancers, the ensemble, they crawl around on the stage and like pick up money, and they put it on this pedestal, and it's almost like a sexual drive towards it. And it is crazy because we all have that. We're like, money, 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 money. Like we're all into getting that money. So we have this really ridiculous relationship with it, like name brand bags and how much they cost, and paying your mortgage or paying your rent, or you need to get a car now, or this or that. Well, all those things that I've always had and stressed about with money and security have now only increased because of my engagement. So now I'm all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, well, we wanted to get a house and we need to get a car now because we're not as much in a metro city. Though I've been able to like walk around because of my location, which has been prime, but going through the process of all that. And now let's throw in, we need to have like money for a wedding and a honeymoon now. And we have less than, I think we have like 16 months to do that. It's stressful. Like it's totally stressful. It's totally valid. So, I mean, if any of you are planning a wedding as well, or just like stressed about money, I was working with my coach this week, so I wanted to share some exercises that we worked on as far as our mindset and money, because our mind is a most powerful thing. I talk about that all the time in my yoga classes when we're at our third eye center, when we're ever focusing on that and massaging it out on our mat, or, holding our hands up to our head. Your mind is so powerful. Like I even talked to my students today, and they said that I had talked to them about something else, so I had them think about engaging a certain muscle in their body in a specific pose, and because of that, it was the first time that they felt strong in that pose, because their mind had empowered them to think about something else instead of thinking about, oh my God, how much longer do I have to hold this? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? Like there's so much we're capable of when we can put ourselves in the proper mindset. So talking through this, again, if you're not familiar with paradox process, if you are a little bit interested in paradox process, you can listen to Teresa Walker's episode that is from far back. I feel like it was in the 20s, but check that episode out. She's my coach. She's fabulous. She has the creator of the paradox process, Thomas, and I finally took a class with him, so I wanted to jump in. This was all public knowledge if you signed up for it, so I'm going to share a little bit of that today with you. But yeah, it's just really beautiful work if you're interested in doing some mind work. I'm going to spin off of a couple things that he worked with us. And when we're making choices, when we're making decisions, there is this infamous rule about small achievable steps, and they call them SMART goals. So you can break down this, so each letter has a different thing. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound goals. So let's go over that. So specific, I talk about this all the time, like be specific in your choices. When you want to make a goal, it's like, I don't want to have an extra $1,000 a month. Well, how do you want to feel? What are you going to be able to accomplish with that extra $1,000 a month? What will that do for your bank account? What is that going to do for your future? What is that going to do for your kids' future, for your future wedding? Whatever it is. So if you want that, like, why do you want it and how do you want to feel? So like really getting down to the specificity. 2 is measurable. So meaning, can you actually accomplish this in a certain amount of time? Can you actually accomplish it in a certain amount of time? Thinking of that, like, do you think that you can get it all done in this time? Like, I'm not going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. And if I am, like, I'll call you and give you all the tips of how I did it. But that's not tangible. So giving that measurable, measuring the time frame, like what is the realistic time frame that I can accomplish this goal in? And then attainable. Again, not reaching for $1 million, but maybe reaching for $1,000 more a month. That could be as small as, because I'm getting this stimulus check, instead of spending it and blowing it on more clothes or, an indulgent thing, you can go ahead and take that and put it into your savings because you don't know what is to come. Or you can take that money and you can pay off the credit card debt that you've accumulated now since the last stimulus check stopped. Whatever it is. So making sure it's attainable. It's not something that's like such a far stretched goal that's maybe 5 years down the road that you're trying to accomplish in 3 months. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to happen, but that doesn't mean it won't ever happen. So really hold on to that. Relevant. Making it relevant in your life right now. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. And then time bound. So again, it's all kind of tying together though. Time bound, is it something that you can accomplish in this 3-month time span? So yeah, making your goals time bound is just giving yourself a time frame that keeps you moving but doesn't create pressure on you, because you don't want something that's going to like bring you down. You want to feel like you can accomplish it. And keeping it, relevant. Like, is it something that you truly want? Like, why do you want it so much? And that's all goes back to the specificity. So they can all intertwine, all these 5 things, but make yourself some SMART goals. We talked about the vision and goals board on the last solo episode. So if you want to use that as a reference, I give you a couple tips on there as far as making a vision and goals board. But something that I do often, and I challenged my partner to do as well, that I would recommend, is something that I've always done in one way. Now, the way that they do it in the paradox process is it's pretty similar to what I've done before. So everything's almost doubled. So you give yourself what you want to accomplish in 3 years and how you want to feel about it. So it's always like hanging on to the feeling. Then 6 months, because it's like adding on the 6, doubling the 6 then to 12 months to a year, doubling the year to 2 years. And then you just jump forward to 5 years. So 3, 6, 12, 2, 5. And just write down what you want to accomplish money-wise. Like, let's just fixate it on money, because I've never done it for something specific. I've just done it for like what I wanted in my life. So we were urged to shift it back to what we want specifically in this time frame. And I think that really challenges us to figure out what we can do and how, because if we don't plan, we wander. Yeah, I think we can all say that. Like, don't get me wrong, like spontaneity is a beautiful thing. I think if you're always spontaneous, you'll never accomplish anything. I think if you're over planning, you're always going to set yourself up for disappointment. So there's a lovely balance there. There's got to be a balance, whether it's your partner that balances you out, whether it's just like give and take circumstances that balance you both out, or you're on your own and you just need to let yourself teeter-totter. Like, don't be afraid to like weigh the scale and allow yourself to do a little bit of both. But yeah, if we don't plan, we wander, we flail, we don't have any specific goal. You say, like I could use this for all my theater friends and for myself at the time, moving to Manhattan, I wanted to be on Broadway. Well, that doesn't mean that I couldn't go to my first Broadway audition and get it, but in order to get there, I had to force myself to like wake up early and before I got my equity card and could get an appointment, and even then you don't always get an appointment. So, just really, I mean, it's just very, very tough work, and it's always like this constant hustle. But if I didn't plan my day out accordingly, I would have never went to the auditions, because I needed to like food prep. I needed to do my workout somewhere in the day and figure out when that would be. If I got cut, I knew that I could take a dance class. If I got cut, I knew I would have enough time to go back uptown to get my stuff for work that night, or compiling and compacting like my entire day into a plan with all my stuff, throwing it on my backpack, getting on the subway and not returning home until another 15 hours later when I was done with work. So just really making sure that you are taking the time to plan, especially right now, because there is this like, I don't know what's coming up. I don't know what's coming up. I get it. I totally get it. And these goals will shift. I said that in the vision and goals boards. They're definitely going to shift. There's nothing wrong with those shifts. But what I want you to feel is that you've planned and you feel secure and you're ready for anything. Like, if this happens, at least I've planned by putting this money in my savings. If this happens, at least this money went for good. So really getting specific with those things and using that 3, 6, 12, 2, 5 is really, really great. In the morning, I wake up and I always state what I have as an intention every morning. Again, if you're religious, I know a lot of people pray in the morning. I don't pray to Buddha. I just create like a conversation in my head for about 5 minutes every day where I kind of set an intention and I do a certain series of exercises that I've worked with my coach. And I want you to like visualize every day for 1 minute in the morning and 1 minute at night, like your vision of all these goals. And I want this specifically today to be these money goals that you have for yourself. So just a vision, like, what would your life be like if you had that extra $1,000 in the next 3 months? What would your life be like, if you're doing the timeline in 5 years? What would your life be like? What's it going to look like if you make this plan and you're able to accomplish all those goals in 5 years? Is your house going to be glorious? Are you going to be vacationing more? Are your kids going to be able to go to college and you can fund it? Are you able to pay for your wedding? Are you out of debt? Have you paid off all your student loans? Going through that, just really seeing it and making it super, super visual for yourself every morning and every night. Doing that work is honestly, it's going to happen. It's going to make these goals come to fruition because you're so fixated on it. You're seeing it, you're envisioning it, and you have a plan of how you're going to get there. And then the last thing would be is to state positive things in your head about accomplishing that fact already. Okay, so I'm going to give you one key because I'm not a teacher on this, so I didn't want to go into full detail, but there is one specific key that they use, and it's called Affirm Clear. And basically, I want you to sit there and say that you've already accomplished it, because this is literally the hardest thing for me to do because my ego always comes into play and like doesn't allow me to do it. So I'll say like, I will have blah, 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 and I'll feel like this. Wrong-o, like it's not I will have, it's I have had. So saying stuff like I'll give you a couple things that I'm personally working on. Like, my wedding's gonna be absolutely amazing. Affirm Clear. My lifestyle is going to be filled with love every day, affirm, clear. I won't have any debt after 5 years for this wedding, affirm, clear. My whole family shows up in a positive way, affirm, clear. My guests have an amazing time, affirm, clear. I have the most beautiful wedding that I've always dreamed of, affirm, clear. And you just start to get on this rant, and you just do it for a minute. Just set your timer for a minute, but make it specifically about money. I know I kind of drifted around. I was just trying to give you a couple examples. So that is kind of what I wanted to wrap up with y'all today, is just knowing that money is such a stressful thing, making sure we plan about it. Some people have had more money now than they've ever had in their lives, and they're some of the hardest workers I know. Like someone that's a farmer out on the field, or someone that's in a factory working, like they're the hardest workers that I know. And I've been listening so often to how I made this. Yes, How I Made This. It's a podcast. It's really incredible with Guy Raz. And you just hear all these entrepreneurs, and you always ask the question, do you think that you got where you are by luck or by hard work? And it's such a hard question. And they always know, like some people are always ready for the answer. Other people are like, I knew this was coming, and it's such a hard question. So thinking about that, like as we're going through this, I think hard work, like some of the people that work hourly jobs and work 80-hour weeks, I think are some of the hardest workers that I know. Now, maybe like physical labor. And then, some people that are like stuck in an office that are lawyers with all these cases and this and that, and they work 80 hours a week. Like they're some of the hardest workers I know, because it's a lot of like mental work, which is a lot of work as well. But yeah, just knowing that you have a plan, you're going to be able to accomplish those things. I know you can. I know I can. I have to always confirm that to myself as well. I know I can. And just taking that time. It's literally 5 minutes of your morning to just do this cap up and envision it at night. It's going to really start to change your life. I promise you that. Again, if you are interested in the paradox process in any means, please reach out to my girlfriend, Teresa Walker, and check in with her. She does do private one-on-ones, so she's always increasing her repertoire of clients. Or you can jump on to a meeting with Thomas, the creator and founder of the Paradox Process, on Monday evenings at, I believe it's 8 p.m. So I'll have that information in the show notes as well. But I hope these exercises really help you get jazzed and excited about planning for your future financially, because it is going to be a good one. I promise you, I see those goals with you peeps. I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, have a great rest of your weekend. Again, if you didn't get the newsletter, all you have to do is go onto my Instagram, click on the link tree and click join the newsletter, or just go into the show notes here today and it is all there for you. Remember, on Wednesdays, I also do Wedding Tips Wednesday. Yesterday I did talk all about getting your engagement ring resized, and I talked about starting to create and develop your engagement ring with your engagement ring to bond with your wedding band, and talked all about how I'm creating a wedding band around the engagement ring that I was so blessed with over the holiday season. Enjoy your week, everyone, and find that luxury in your life. I promise you it is there if you do the work.